Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Happy Saturday to everybody out there. We had our first upset of the college football weekend last night in the Pac 12 championship game when Utah defeated USC by the score of 47-24. Now, I know the final score sounds like Utah dominated, but it was actually 17-17 at halftime, and it was actually Utah 24, USC 17 after three. But the fourth quarter, Utah completely dominated. Now, Lincoln Riley better be careful because if he doesn't hurry up and win a game that means something, he's going to be known as the biggest choke job coach in the history of college football because even at Oklahoma, he had top 5 or top 10 teams every year. But every time he played in a must win game, he fell apart. And last night was a game that USC needed to win. That's their second loss of the season. So Utah wins the Pac 12, and USC will not be going to the playoffs. So now we have to sit back and wait until next week and wonder who will get the fourth and final playoff spot. I'm sure it'll come down to Ohio State or Alabama. And I'm hearing more and more people think it belongs to Alabama. And that's the biggest bunch of rigmarole hogwash I ever heard in my life. Anybody that's watched any football game this year that involved Alabama knows Alabama has not looked like a top 4 team all year long. And I'm sick and tired of Alabama getting playoff spots just because they're Alabama when every other team has to go out and earn the playoff spot. And all anybody wants to talk about is who Bama lost to and how they lost. It doesn't matter. We're forgetting the one key word. They lost. There has never been a 2-loss team make the playoffs. And if you take a 2-loss team that not only was a 2-loss team, but was a 2-loss team who didn't win their division or their conference, and you still put them in the playoffs, then yes, what I said in yesterday's video reigns even more true. It's not a playoff, it's an invitational because you're inviting a team that's accomplished nothing all year long into the playoffs for no reason whatsoever. I don't care who they lost to. I don't care how they lost. The point is, they lost. What's more impressive, TCU winning a game at the last second or Alabama losing a game at the last second? Wins should be more important than losses. If we're going to start putting teams in because who they lost to, that's just stupid. Bama has no business being in the playoffs. So now we have to hope that TCU wins later on today because now if they don't win, then we know for sure Bama will get in. It'll be Ohio State and Bama. As of right now, it'll be one or the other. I was talking to one of the wrestlers last night at NCW, and he asked me if I was going to watch the Georgia LSU game, and I said, well, I can't see it live because I've got Southern Fried at Championship Wrestling tomorrow night, but it really doesn't matter because Georgia's going to win, and he thinks LSU is going to compete with them. I said, I don't think they will. If LSU keeps it within 2 touchdowns, I'll be surprised, but it doesn't matter because even if Georgia loses, they're in the playoffs. So in the grand scheme of things, the Georgia LSU game really means nothing, and the Michigan game tonight means nothing because if Georgia and Michigan both lose, they're both still going to the playoffs. But coming up one day next week, I'm going to have to do a video about all the college football players that have entered the transfer portal because you can't officially announce you're transferring until I believe it's Monday, December the 5th. But there was heck, I don't know, 100 players the last 2 days that have came out and said they were transferring. I think Iowa alone had like 5 players yesterday that announced they were transferring. So by the middle of next week, there should be a whole buku of a cast of characters who are transferring from their current school. But let's talk about some high school football playoff action from last night. In the state of Georgia, Mill Creek defeated Milton by the score of 48-14. Gainesville defeated Roswell by the score of 35-28. Prince Avenue Christian defeated St. Francis 24-20. Cedar Grove defeated Oconee County 23-0. Cedartown defeated North Oconee 28-0. Langston Hughes defeated Rome by the score of 42-3. Benedictine defeated Troup County by the score of 42-21. Warner Robins is playing for another state championship. They defeat Cartersville by the score of 35-10. Bowden defeated Lincoln County 45-28. Thompson defeated Appling County 20-14. Ware County defeated Dutchtown 31-7. Swainsboro defeated Irwin County 22-21. Chalet County defeated Johnson County 35-6. Fitzgerald defeated Fellowship Christian 19-9. Carrollton beat Colquitt County 35-27. And Sandy Creek defeated Carver by the score of 35-14. That was 16 games in the state championship playoffs from last night across the state of Georgia. Those 16 winners will play for their respective class state championship next weekend. So if you live in the state of Georgia and you have Georgia Public Broadcasting, look out for some state championship games all weekend, next weekend, in the state of Georgia on Georgia Public Broadcasting. And in the state of South Carolina, they've already had a couple of state championship games. Thursday, Beaufort defeated Powdersville 41-31 to win the AAA state championship. And yesterday afternoon, Abbeville defeated Oceanside Collegiate by the score of 35-20 to win the AA state championship, and they have their other class state championships coming up today. Any thoughts on the Pac-12 game from last night or any of the high school state playoff games? Please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Today, a large truck full of hair restoring tonic overturned and flooded the street. Police are combing the area. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.